Oh, stop.
Listen to you.
The voice will be back. How, what you mean you not done? You are done. I'm all right.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Before the break, we had Bobby in Los Altos call, and Bobby's one of our
favorites.
Yeah, he's full of insight.
I could keep going if you want, but I'm not.
And Bobby, you got a little taste of the goo after you hung up. And I know how frustrating it can be when Guru mischaracterizes. This,
he deserved it.
From Bobby in Los Altos.
Give it to him. B is my guy, too.
Guru, I never, all capitals, called you stupid. That's fake news.
No, it was us.
Listen to the tape. I said to think a regular season win has the same weight as a Super Bowl is ridiculous / nonsensical / stupid. Not you.
All right.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah.
He does that to me all the time.
Don't forget your bomb you had. I believe you were about to forget it. I've been waiting.
See, this is going to be good.
Well,
you're right. I don't know. But these are facts. And I wouldn't mind Evan weighing in on this because I know he'll disagree with me.
What?
But,
wow.
But let's put the rat on the table.
Brought to you by ADCO.
Last week's game against the Seahawks, bigger than the game against the Chiefs. Just is. Just is. And the reason is, had you lost to the Seahawks, now you're 2-4. You're 0-4 in conference, 0-3 in the division. You're 3 games, in essence, behind the Seahawks, but you beat the Seahawks. Now you're in first place, and really all we have is just an AFC opponent coming in here. And it's about taking care of your division
I'm not even, go ahead.
And the conference.
I'm just, sometimes, go ahead, Evan.
What?
No, Evan, I want you to, I needed a break.
Uh-oh. Something's wrong with Evan's mic.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear you.
I don't hear him.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this until we can hear him.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that because you're right, but at the end of the day, we've moved the goalpost. If you're a team that's gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, 4 straight NFC championships, Steiny, it sounds like, and I know you're not doing it on purpose, you're throwing a parade for first place. That's just buzzard luck in regard to, hey, it looks like my division is not going to take a private school education to get into because we might be able to win it with a lesser record. You're the Niners. And the Chiefs are the reason you haven't won the last 2 Super Bowls you've been to. And you want to beat them. And the Niners want to beat them. I get what Trent's doing. But, Steiny, they want, and the Niner fans, you want to kick their ass. And we didn't even bring up 18 when Garoppolo wrecked his leg in Arrowhead. Remember that? In Kansas City. So you're tired of the Kansas City and Mahomes. And, yeah, they're undefeated. You want to lay their first loss. You want it to be on your lead. You want it to read Niners.
Yeah, literally, you're right.
Right. That's all.
Which is what you do. But if you asked any member of the 54-man team, or 53, I guarantee you they'd rather beat the Chiefs than the Seahawks.
I wonder.
Steiny.
I mean,
anybody who was on the team last year.
Even the training staff, they're like, he's right. We're talking about
if they were 2-4 now.
Who do you think Shanahan would rather beat, Andy Reid or Mike McDonald?
McDonald, because McDonald had his number last year.
I thought it was because he had a farm.
That's a 3, dude. McDonald, that's really good. Listen, Steiny, where's the competitor in you? You're right with the AFC in it. These are the Chiefs. They're in
their league.
They're the what's her name? Kelsey's girl, Taylor Swift of the league. They're it right now, and they are in your way. You should have beat them twice. You didn't. They're Super Bowl champs.
I get it.
Undefeated. Come on. But you're right with the 2-4, the 3. I'll give you that.
Like, there are games at various points of a season are must wins. And the game against Seattle, now looking back, was a must win.
Until the next week. But
not until the next week.
I get you, man.
The point is now they're in a spot where the win against Seattle, whether you use it or not, it's giving you a little more wiggle room for sure.
But give Evan the win in regard to if you can honestly, if we're having some yak with Kyle, would you rather beat Andy?
I don't know,
or McDonald with Seattle when Seattle's just okay at best?
I mean, I hate to say this, but if you're telling me you're going to be 3-4, and 3-4 you lost to the Seahawks and beat the Chiefs, but another 3-4 you beat the Seattle Seahawks but lost to the Chiefs, in terms of the practicality of it all, you'd rather be 3-4 with a win over the Seahawks than the Chiefs. Again, of course you want to beat the Chiefs. You've got a lot at stake.
Because they own you right now, and there's something to that. I really believe they're tired of losing, man.
But there is something to the fact that if you lose to the Chiefs, it doesn't guarantee if you play them again in the Super Bowl, you're going to lose again.
No doubt about it. But
So,
what about Kyle and, I don't know, I should know this, that overtime thing that the Chiefs are running with the promo.
No, they're not.
Was that a blunder? Was that a blunder?
We need to be clear.
What?
That's the radio station.
Okay, and
it's not like Andy Reid's saying, "Hey, what do you say?"
No, they're having fun with it. Like if we were to do something,
not the Chiefs,
and the station has Watts, and it goes to a lot of people, so they're mocking the Niners and Kyle.
Right, the station.
Yeah, you don't think
mocking.
he wants to rectify that, and you never will, because this win won't equate to a Super Bowl victory. But Steiny, he's probably laying in bed at night thinking about, maybe he could have did this or that. This last Super Bowl that went to overtime, just from that vantage point, oh my gosh, this game means so much, man. And yeah, it's just a regular season game, but you got to beat their ass at some juncture.
Okay, I'd rather do it in the Super Bowl.
Now hey,
I don't want to get into that because everybody would say
that. But we got a long time before you find out if you're going to get to that plateau, and if you do, they got to get there too. My point is the past, and the past is a haunted house when it comes to the Chiefs versus Niners.
Okay, here's the way I look at it.
You got to exercise those demons.
I'm sorry, and this is kind of, I'll ask you what you think. Yeah. If this is the way I look at it, if you really believe that the 49ers have kicked away 2 Super Bowls.
Love it.
They blew it. You know what? Then to me, the Chiefs are irrelevant. You lost 2 Super Bowls because you blew 2 Super Bowls.
No doubt.
Right. The opponent doesn't matter to me.
Well, you made them. You had a hand in making them a modern-day dynasty.
Right.
Those 2 losses are 2 of their. But just think about how history would be altered.
But if you kick the games away,
which you did,
forget, and Kansas City means nothing.
Now
they're just a team that you kicked 2 games away.
I see where you're going, but had Kansas City been New England last year in the Super Bowl, I would feel what you're saying and I would buy what you're selling. But the fact that the theme is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen is on the other end of being the beneficiary to your blunders.
You can't have it both ways.
Well, you
can't acknowledge that Mahomes is great.
Well, you hated him, though. See, I'm different.
Right.
I know Patrick Mahomes is great, but I also can say I saw him get flustered for a good portion of 9 quarters against a Niners stout defense. And the travesty and all that that you didn't win one of the games.
It makes the Chiefs even more irrelevant. If you really think you won 8 of 9 quarters, then you've committed a catastrophic meltdown.
And if you look at those 2 games at the end, Steiny, you have, because you had them up 10 twice, one in the 4th quarter.
Okay, so they're the Chiefs then. Go ahead, E.
Well, no, just the other part of your discussion is using your logic, Steiny. If the Niners beat the Chiefs, then it wouldn't be as big of a win as them beating Seattle.
Right. Yes.
But I think we all believe that if they beat the Chiefs on Monday, it's going to be a party.
No, I think we all understand that you want to beat the Chiefs because they're your nemesis. But I think we also understand that just because of the standings, the game...
But we're not even at the halfway point of the season, though.
What do you mean?
Like, it's early.
Right.
Like, that'll play itself out. You don't get a chance to play the Chiefs again in the regular season.
Like, beating the Chiefs, similar to, like, beating the Eagles, could be what propels you. I mean, I think that's why Barrows was saying this would be the biggest win to date.
This year or overall?
Since the Philadelphia Eagles game last year.
Right. And I'm not saying you don't want to win it. What I'm saying is just, to me, the win against the Eagles last year is a bigger win than if you beat Kansas City this year, because it's just got more implications in the standings. That's all. But, of course, the Chiefs are the best team in football, and you want to win a game against the Chiefs.
Well, I would ask you, what's the difference? I mean, because it was personal.
Well, because the Eagles are in the NFC.
No, but and that game got away from you early. They knocked out your quarterback, and they went on to lose the Super Bowl, the Eagles. But the Chiefs beat you in the Super Bowl. So my point to Evan's point is, and trying to sell it to you, is the Niners should be more pissed off at the Chiefs' loss. And so, you know, and again, they're not, I know Debo and Johnson, the defensive back, aren't going at it. Like, the Chiefs don't have that type of back and forth. But, Steiny, they just, my goodness, just from what they are now, and they're a modern-day dynasty if you're into that, and they beat you just last year in overtime. This is the Eagle game on steroids to me.
That's fine. And the Chiefs, you want to say they're a bigger game than the Seahawks? I'm not going to argue with you. All I'm saying is, in terms of tiebreakers and home field they're an
AFC opponent.
Exactly. But I'm not downplaying the game in and of itself, but I'm saying I really do think 2 weeks from now, regardless of what happens against the Chiefs, we're going to look back at the Seahawks game and say, oh my God, did they have to have that one? Because if they hadn't gotten that one, the difference between where they are in the standings now and where they would have been in the standings with a loss is
I can't even argue
monstrous.
That. I won't even touch that.
But if you do go out and you get beat by the Chiefs, you're still going to be hovering around first place. It doesn't, again, the Chiefs are better than the Seahawks, and that's probably why it's a bigger game, is because you want to beat a team that's ostensibly the best team in the league. But the reality of the situation is division games are more important and conference games are more important.
Right, but for this week's done, I think you could put that to the side, and then you're a history buff. History matters, right? And the history is the Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls over you. So just from that standpoint, the pride and everything that goes along with being a winner is on display. And I got to say
we all agree that they can't get it all back with a win.
But the fact that...
And they can't lose anymore with a loss.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this. I don't think this game is as big for Kansas City. No duh, Goo. But at the end of the day, they're undefeated. You say they've kind of, been Houdini. I feel like if you let the Chiefs come out here and get back on a plane, laying another L on you, just from a Chiefs standpoint, Steiny,
right?
When are you ever going to beat them?
In the Super Bowl. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying let's lose this game.
I want to play the John Lynch sound of "Hey Tim." You can't assume getting to the Super Bowl. See, but you're saying it just like it's easy street. But man, you lose to the Chiefs. You're 3-4.
Right.
With the momentum you thought you had is down the drain. But I guess I'm looking at the Chiefs like they can be had because they're undefeated. They got some injury issues of their own. Kareem Hunt, they go get off a trash heap, and he just runs for 100 yards out of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, you can get them this week. You got problems, but you want to beat them at home, Steiny.
Right. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ, FM, and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. I mean, I'm just
the NFC, AFC. You got that. I really believe that, but it's more than that.
It's not really believe. It's like the truth. The games against the conference and the division just innately are more important because there's more at stake. But yes, as far as an emotional game, a game you want to win, absolutely, you'd like to get this game.
This is Warriors, Cavs, Lakers, Celtics back in the day, Magic and Bird.
Regular season. Like, that's the other thing. I mean, George in Los Altos. What's going on, George? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Steiny, and I have to really agree with your partner there on everything he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
This game to me, granted, it's not an NFC game. It's not going to impact the standings, may not influence what happens later on down the road and blah, blah, blah. But this game to me is gigantic in terms of maintaining a momentum that I believe we just got back. We blew 2 games in a row, greater than a 10-point lead. We let teams come back and beat us. And Seattle almost did the same thing to us last Thursday. But guess what? We didn't let them do it. We came back, and we ended up putting them away. We now have to continue the momentum and beat the Chiefs on Sunday. That'll just do so much for us for the rest of the season.
Wow.
I think it's gigantic in that respect. I really do.
George, I agree with you 100%. And I said that in the first hour of the show. I said, to me, the game's more important to keep momentum going, more so than it is, well, we got to beat the Chiefs because. George.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say that earlier, Steiny.
No, I'm directing that at you.
Yeah, but you could, the beauty of this game, Steiny, to me, is you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And the 2 birds are obviously you need a win to go over 500. Yeah, it's not an AFC win, the NFC win, but at the end of the day, it is a win. Like, you could lose the division down the road by 1 game. And what if it was this 1 game that you lost to the Chiefs? I just feel like when you get close, as the Niners have the last 5 years, and lose to the same opponent, and now that opponent is the standard, Andy Reid, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, and Andy Reid. Like, we hadn't even talked about the coaching aspect of this. You don't want Andy Reid to have more ownage on Kyle, even though it's a regular season game.
And this is the part that you can't ever know. We said the same thing when the Niners had the Rams number, or seemingly had the Rams number for 4 years. I want to say the Rams had won it. I'm sorry, the 49ers had won what? How many regular season games in a row?
Feels like 8 or 9. It was up there, yeah.
And then the biggest game, the biggest one, the one that they had to have, the Rams won the game. So, again, I guess my point would be, of course you want to win the game, and you don't want to lose the game. But if you lose the game, you still have action left in the season, and the goal is still to get to the Super Bowl. And if the Chiefs are there, I'm not sure that the 3 losses prior will be a factor in that game. Like, I don't know. If the Chiefs win Sunday and they were to meet again in the Super Bowl, I don't necessarily think the 49ers would be at any more of a disadvantage because they lost 3 games to the Chiefs. Then they're at a disadvantage because the Chiefs have been a better team.
I would just say, and we're a product,
why wouldn't
we're
you
a product of the fans.
I would give the 49ers a shot against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if they end up getting there, even if they lose this game Sunday.
You know what? I'm with you, but I'm not with you, because if they lose this game Sunday, Steiny, I really believe that the Niners have a Mahomes problem. That's not a bad thing,
Didn't the Rams have a 49er problem?
Yeah, but none of those games outside of that one were in the postseason.
Well,
and you don't get 2 dates a year with the Chiefs like you do with the Rams. So that was a friendly foe that you see all the time. My thing is, you're right. They can meet again after this meeting in the Super Bowl. But Steiny, I'm sorry. If somehow Mahomes comes in here and lays another L on you, I'm going to sit there and think there's just wake me up in the 4th quarter because the Niners have a Chief problem. But why I said we're a product of the fans, forget the player in the standings for a moment. How about the faithful? They're tired of what the Chiefs represent and what they've stole from them.
But this is the difference.
That's why
between
it's different for the fans
and the players.
And there's a difference.
Right. If the 49ers get beat by the Chiefs, their season's not over, and they know it. If the 49ers get beat by the Chiefs, the fans are going to say, well, we can't beat the Chiefs. I mean, that's why you can't put too much emphasis, even as a fan, on this game, because are you really saying that if we can't beat the Chiefs on Sunday, we're not going anywhere?
No.
I mean, and I'm not saying, who cares? It doesn't matter if you win or you lose. No, I look at it as though you can't create a scenario, though, that if you get beat, it's over.
There's no doubt.
That's all I'm saying.
And the fact that you're going to be the Niners, which we know now, is safe to say you're not going to have your best player in McCaffrey, Steiny. There's a difference there than if you were to hook up later on. My thing is, I mean, just like I told Matt Barrelstein, and he agreed with me, and I keep saying, this is a hell of an opportunity. If you told me at 3-3, I could pick a team I'd want to play and get a dub, it would be the Kansas City Chiefs. It wouldn't be a division foe. This for morale, for revenge. It has all the concoctions of,
but that's kind of mental.
Yeah, it's a win, but Steiny, sometimes wins are worth 4 of them.
But they're not.
Because it's the Chiefs and what they represent.
But that's the other thing that like we've got. It's the NFL. It's like if the Niners lose to the Chiefs, it's not over. And if they beat the Chiefs, they're not headed to the Super Bowl. So, that's why the more I think about the Trent Williams thing,
he's being true. He means it.
It's like you can't say this game's more important than the Chiefs game. Therefore, we're gonna play harder. Like, but I'm sorry. It's more important than the Seattle game. I mean, you've got to establish the same level of play week to week. Otherwise, you're not going to be very good.
Well, another right on the table, Steiny, is the Chiefs are undefeated. They're great, right? The Seahawks aren't. They're okay. So if you just from that standpoint alone, if we're just focused on in season, a win over the Chiefs is way more impressive than a win over the Seahawks.
It's definitely more impressive. It's definitely more impressive. And we'll see how it all plays out. 888-957-9570 is the number. 49er fans, how do you balance the importance of this game? Knowing it's a big game against a team that's beaten you in the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years, but it's a team that's sandwiched between a couple NFC games. But I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the 49ers are going to the playoffs. So if you told me, Steiny, they're going to win one out of their next 2 games, I would want it to be the Chiefs.
All right, okay. All right.
And then lose to the Cowboys.
Right.
Even though that would be kind of worse for you in the standings.
But you're still going to get to your goal to play. Well,
but that's the other thing. If you beat the Chiefs and then the Cowboys come into Levi and beat you, the Chiefs game means nothing almost at that point.
But upstairs, and when I say upstairs, I think mentally and for the morale, Steiny, I think it means a whole lot more than us just saying it's one game. I know. That's why I'm excited.
Like, you beat the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs play one of their worst games of the year, and you just happen to beat them.
But I can tell you who's going to be in the playoffs this year in the AFC. I can tell you right now. Sell the farm, bet the farm. It's going to be the Chiefs. We know where that ship is going.
And I think we know where the 49ers ship is going. I think we know the 49ers ship is probably going to the playoffs in this division. I think
it's so funny that we're talking and I'm not saying you're wrong. We're throwing shade at the division, and yet the Niners are 1-2 in that division. What does that say?
It says they pissed away 2 games they had won.
But did they really?
Yes. They had a 13-point lead in one game, and they had a 14-point lead in another.
But if I were to ask you through 6 games, what ails the Niners the most, I would be like, for me, I don't know on any given Sunday what this defense is going to be. Thursday, they balled out. I mean, Matt Barrows is right, or the caller that made the point that
I'll tell you what,
the Seahawks had the ball in position to win the game,
but they got stopped.
Yeah,
but if we do that all the time, it's like they're 3-3.
No, I guess my point is we can't start penciling or talking in certain, Steiny, like the Seahawks had action as bad as and I don't think we'll put respect on their name. They had the ball with the chance at a lot of things went against them. But they still were in position to win that game. What if that's Mahomes? What if that's Kyler Murray again in there? You know what I mean? Like,
well, can't you say that the Niners won by 12 points and probably lost a touchdown on a bad call?
You can.
888-957-9570 is the number. We got crossover coming up in a half hour with Dibbs and Willard. I just know this. I don't like Sundays without the 49ers playing. In fact, my buddy Sal hit me up on Friday. He's like, what are you up to this weekend? I'm like, Niners game Sunday. Let's go. And he said, yeah, they played Thursday.
Oh, man.
He's like, yeah, that's right. But 125, we got to talk about where you're going to be watching the game.
Yeah, but you got to watch all the other games. That was good.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I want my Niners playing on a Sunday. I got back from golf, and it was, oh, God.
98. Streets talking.
No. I got back from golf, and it was Steelers-Raiders. Oh, my God. What's coming up next on The Game is presented by Fremont Bank, celebrating 60 years of full-service banking with no compromises.
Hey, it's Willard